It's the Fort Hays State University Coaches Show on Eagle Community Television, brought to you by Eagle Communications.
Hello once again and welcome to another edition of Tiger Talk. This is Gerard Walbrock. I'll be joined shortly by Fort Hays State head football coach Chris Brown. Unfortunately, maybe not quite as happy of a show for you this time around. Fort Hays State coming up short in a frustrating 27-24 overtime loss in Topeka Saturday afternoon to the Washburn Ichabods to drop to 3-2. We'll recap that ball game, which had lots of twists and turns throughout the day, and then we'll look ahead to this Saturday night. It's homecoming this week at Fort Hays State, and Missouri Western comes to town for a 7 o'clock kick Saturday at Lewis Field. We'll take a complete look at the Griffins as the program moves along. It's brought to you once again by the great folks at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill in Hays, 3203 Vine, where the fire's always burning. We'll take our first break, and head coach Chris Brown will join us right after this on Tiger Talk. Hi, I'm Gerard Walbrock, voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers, inviting you to join me for Tiger Talk. Airs Monday nights from 6 until 6:30 on Tiger Radio Mix 103, and then the video replay on Eagle Cable Channel 14 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We'll talk Fort Hays State football with head coach Chris Brown, preview the last game, and look ahead to the next week's action on Tiger Talk. Monday night, 6 till 6:30 on Tiger Radio Mix 103 and on Eagle Cable Channel 14. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Walbrock, head football coach Chris Brown. The program brought to you again by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine in Hays. Check out the great lunch menus and items on the menu, as well as the half-price appetizers, 8 till close every night of the week. And Coach, maybe not quite as enjoyable this go-around on the program. I don't know where to start. Very difficult and probably frustrating loss is the best way to put it on Saturday in Topeka against Washburn.
It is. You know, Washburn's a very good football team. I knew it was just a matter of time, you know, before they got things clicking. You know, they had a lot of turnovers in their previous games, and, you know, they didn't have a lot this game. I think they only turned the ball over twice, maybe 3 times. I think it was 2 times total. And then when they got in the red zone, they scored this time, you know, instead of turning the ball over. But, you know, we shot ourselves on the foot, gave up some big plays, you know, defensively, snapped the ball over our punter's head and gave him a short field. And, you know, you look at their scores, one was off a big play, 72-yard run or a pass play to Jordan Hart, and next thing you know, then they snapped it over the head, and I gave them another touchdown, and, you know, a 99-yard drive, you know, where we gave up 2 plays in that game, in that series, which were, you know, I think one was 40, then there was a 30-yarder possibly that, you know, you can't give up the big play. You give up the big play and give up easy points, it's going to be a battle.
Yeah, and I guess you can break it down. They made big plays, they made plays when they needed to, and you guys just didn't come through.
We didn't. You know, we just didn't play very well. I didn't think we tackled very well defensively. I didn't think we played very well up on the front line. You know, I thought our D-line was, you know, got dominated, you know, in that game and didn't do a very good job. And I think offensively the same way. You know, we get down there with, you know, inside the 2-yard line and I go for it on 4th down thinking we're going to get it, you know, 4th and an inch. You know, there's no way we can't possibly get this. And, you know, we didn't get it, and they got some momentum, and then they take the field and score. We just didn't play very good all around. But not taking anything against Washburn. They're a very, very good football team. They're coached very well, and you know, I knew it was just a matter of time before they started had things clicking.
You know, you mentioned in the post-game radio interview, just didn't feel your team had a lot of energy. A little surprising coming off the big win, and it seemed like they had a pretty good week of practice.
You know, I thought they had a great week of practice too. You know, they did things that we asked them to do, and you know, we just had no energy in that game, and I don't know how that can be. You know, it's a football game. You should be excited. You should be enthusiastic, and you know, we were just dead on the sideline. We were dead out there on the field, and you know, at times I felt like I was at practice. You know, just not a lot of energy, and the kids weren't playing with any emotion, and we weren't finding the ball on defense, and we weren't driving them off the ball, you know, offensively, and you know, I don't know, it just didn't seem right out there to me the whole time, and I was doing everything I possibly could to get those kids fired up, but you know, sometimes they got to do some things on their own.
It got off to a good start. You got the opening kick and thought, hey, maybe this is going to go. And the offense did show some signs of life in that ball game, but a very impressive 10-play, 75-yard drive capped by that 16-yard run by Edward Smith. So you had to be happy for the quick start offensively.
That was huge. You know, you get a quick start like that, and you score on your very first series, and you know, maybe our kids relaxed a little bit there. You know, they felt like, well, we got ahead of Washburn right now. Maybe they're going to, you know, fold their tents and be done, but you know, and the Washburn's not that team. They're not going to do those things. They're going to battle till the very end. And I don't know if we got a little overconfident, like, as I say we did in the very first game, but that possibly could have happened again with our kids. But you know, we got to play better. That's just all there is to it.
I think 3 and out on your second possession, but then came back with a nice big play to Ed Williams and scored on your third. So 2 out of the first 3 offensive possessions, you get touchdowns. Unfortunately, it dried up after that.
It did. You know, we probably should have scored all 3 of those possessions because, you know, we just got a turnover. Rashawn Moore fumbled the ball, right there around the 45-50. Offensively, we got to go score there, but we didn't end up having to punt. They got the ball back and scored again. But, we just got to find ways to get more points on the board, and, we got to find ways to make our team a little bit better, offensively and defensively. And, you see clicks of it, but you're just not seeing, consistency amongst our team right now.
Tigers fall in overtime to Washburn, 27-24 Saturday. Missouri Western for homecoming this Saturday night. Tiger Talk presented once again by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine, where the fire's always burning. And you can pick 2 choices for lunch from $7.99 to $8.99. Many items, many options. Pick and choose at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill. We'll take a break. More with head football coach Chris Brown right after this. Back on Tiger Talk, Gerard Welbrock, head football coach Chris Brown. It's brought to you by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine, where they have the quick and easy lunches starting at just $6.95. Lots of new lunch menu items, including the Whiskey Creek Angus Burger, the pit roasted chicken, smokehouse jalapeno burger, also the bourbon chicken, and many, many other items. So check them out at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine in Hayes, where the fire's always burning. Tigers come up short to Washburn in overtime Saturday, 27-24. And I get the feeling when you went back and evaluated the video afterward, this is one of those games what could have or what might have been.
It would have been. If we would have just, did our position, played our position the way it was supposed to be played. And, I think we played a little bit selfish, in this game a little bit. And instead of playing for the team, we're kind of doing our own things a little bit. And, it showed, the big plays, being dominated up front on the line of scrimmage. Just the little things that we work on every day in practice. And, it's disappointing as a coach to see your kids go out there and perform like that. And we know that they can perform much better. And so we're going to get back to work this week. And, they're probably not going to have a very fun week of practice.
You look at this game, and like any game that's close, you can break it down, but there's just a couple of plays that kind of stand out. You stopped them on downs in the second half. I think it was their second possession after halftime, and then just missed on a long hitter to Bilal Salat, and who knows if he catches that, you score, and all of a sudden it's 21-7. Instead, you can't connect, and that's when you have the bad snap on the punt, giving them the ball at the 20. They go in to tie it. It just seemed like that sequence of about 2 or 3 plays really changed that entire complexion of the game.
It did. That changed the whole complexion of the game. The snap. There's no excuses for that. It was 3 or 4 right in a row. And he's much better than that. And I've seen him do much better than that. And it's part of the game, but defensively you got to do your best to make sure that they try to just get them to kick a field goal. And we didn't do very well in pass coverage. We missed a tackle, and the kid scored in the end zone. And those things that we got to work on. But giving up the big play and the bad snap and giving up another big play and not getting it on 4th and an inch from the goal line, and they go 90 yards. It all just kind of went together, and that's just kind of how our day went.
I was going to ask you. You come back, they tie it. The very next series, you march it all the way down the field, get it to the one eventually. Ed Williams made a great catch, being twisted around and hauled it inside the 10, but unable to score. And I know you went for it on 4th down, and we say a yard. It was probably less than a yard. Very disappointing to not get points out of that possession.
It is, and we needed to. As a coach, we always go back, what if I would have done this instead of that? But at that point in time, I wanted to get 7 points on the board. I wanted to, make them have to score a touchdown instead of just a field goal. I could have took a penalty and made the field goal a little bit easier for Drew, but there was a point in the game where I was like, hey, we got things going right here. We're driving through. Let's go get a touchdown and get it done. And I was thinking, our defense has played so well up to this point, give them the ball back on the 1 yard line. We're still going to have a good field position to go score, eventually, but, it didn't end up that way.
Yeah, and you touched on earlier a couple of big plays in that next possession, allowing them to go 99 yards.
It was, it was a 3rd and 8. We just make the tackle instead of going for the ball. It's 4th and 1, and they're punting. And it's just those little things, doing the little things right to help your team be successful. And, we didn't do those things this week. And like I said, I thought we were a little selfish and trying to make plays for ourselves instead of for our team. And if we would have done things the way they were supposed to be done, this might have been probably a different ball game.
And kind of surprising, we talk about playing on the road. This team has played well the last couple of years away from home, and always seem to bring that energy, even maybe more so on the road than they have at home. Kind of surprising to not see that.
It was, I don't know if it was the water we had that morning or maybe the breakfast we had. I don't know what it is, but there just wasn't any sense of urgency, any sense of, being aggressive and physical on the football field, and that game showed we had no energy, and we did not play very physical, on either side of the ball. And when you don't do that in this conference, you're not going to have a very good day.
27-24, Washburn wins it in overtime. The program brought to you once again by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine in Hayes. We'll have more with the coach right after this. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock, head football coach Chris Brown, brought to you once again by the fine folks at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill. They have over 10 steak options, sirloins, ribeyes, New York strips, even the porterhouse. So stop on by, check out the menu. They'll cook it your way at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine in Hayes. Coach, I want to ask you about overtime. Haven't had a lot of them at Fort Hays State. I think you won the last time a couple of years ago in Bolivar against Southwest Baptist, but lose a coin toss and obviously get the ball first. Drive it down to the 3. You look like you're doing some really good things, and kind of sputtered from that point on and had to settle for the 3 points.
Same thing, it's consistency. Missing a block here, or wide receiver wasn't open, just take it down and run. Just little things that we coach them every week on, and we just, I don't know. As a coach, you're frustrated right now because they're not doing the things you ask them to do, and sooner or later they got to figure it out and do what we ask them to do and play the game we ask, the way we ask them to play it. And we need to score a touchdown there. But you know what? We kicked the field goal. Now defensively, we got to step up and hold them to a field goal. And there were some situations in there where, they went for it on 4th and 1. I mean, that's a big chance on their part. And get the stop there defensively, you win the ball game. But gave up the first down. Michael Jordan had a nice hit in the end zone on Daywan Beard to make him fumble the ball out of the end zone, which became an incomplete pass. And then the very next play, Rashawn Moore up the middle. We overran everything. The D lineman, got driven back into our linebackers and had a couple of safeties there to make the tackle, and we didn't make the tackle. So, it's on us. We didn't play very well. We didn't do the things we needed to do, and that's why we lost that game.
And it seemed like the defensive line, as good as they were in the Pitt State game, really struggled to gain traction in that game Saturday.
They did. They weren't staying in their gaps. We're doing very well in double teams, getting driven back off the ball, and, it's all pad level. We played high, and when you play high on defensive line, you're going to get driven back into your linebackers, and now your linebackers can't make plays, and then linebackers are trying to overcompensate sometimes for some of those things, and then they were overrunning the play. So it kind of goes hand in hand. It starts up front. Any game that you play, whether it's offense or defensive side of the ball, it starts up front. If you're not doing well up front, nothing's good is going to happen for you.
You mentioned Rashawn Moore. He was a handful, 108 yards. It was kind of surprising at the end of the game to look at it. That touchdown run from 15 out, his longest run of the day, but, boy, he's a tough player to bring down, low center of gravity, and you guys had trouble with him.
He's got great balance. He's got great strength. I've been around that kid a long time. I recruited him when I was at Washburn to come to Washburn, and I just knew he's got a great. His uncle's Ronald Moore, who actually played for the Arizona Cardinals as a rookie of the year, I think, with 1,000 yards rushing. But I mean, he's an impressive kid, strong kid, and he's going to battle and fight till the very end, and that's what he did on that last play. He was just better than us on that play.
Well, the Tigers come up short. They lose to Washburn in overtime. Now it's on to homecoming and Missouri Western this Saturday night. We'll talk all about it after the break. Our final segment of Tiger Talk is coming up next. Welcome back. Our final segment on Tiger Talk, presented by Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine in Hayes. If you need a catered item or a big family gathering, check out Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill. They can cater. They've got the room and back for your big family function or work event at Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill, 3203 Vine, where the fire's always burning. Tigers lose in overtime to Washburn at home against Missouri Western this Saturday. Before we talk about the Griffins, a couple of individual performances. First with Travion Albert, and I know it was a struggle at times, but yet you look up at the end of the day, he threw the ball much better. A couple of touchdowns, ran the ball well, and played that last half of the fourth quarter in the overtime on a gimpy ankle. And he had some big runs with that sore ankle. All in all, better performance for him at quarterback.
A lot better. Still not where we want him to be, but he did perform better. Made some passes. Made a few bad passes as well, and ran the ball. I just wish sometimes when he's running, he would just go instead of dancing, like he does sometimes. Because he'd get a few more yards, and heck, he might even break one here and there. But much better overall performance by him. We need to build off that and figure out what he likes to do the best, and that's what we've been doing offensively. What fits him, and because it's got to fit your quarterback. If it doesn't fit your quarterback, nothing's going to be successful. So we're going to continue to do the things that he does well, and and build off of it.
Talking about the two Eds, to start with Edward Smith at running back. A good day. He seemed like he was very patient, waited for things to develop, and had one of his better running games.
He did. He did a good job. Still a little bit more patient on a few plays. Especially on a power play, he needs to be a little more patient on that. Let the guard come around and come up underneath that, and all of our backs need to do better on that. And if we do those things, we probably get a few more of those first downs. 4th and 1, a 3rd and 2, even a 3rd and 3 where we ran it. If we just a little more patience, get up inside of him, we probably get the first down. But overall, he's doing very well for us, and he's working hard. He's had to be a workhorse in that game because Kenneth Iheen was out, and he carried the ball quite a bit for us in that game.
And he did a nice job. And then Ed Williams, he made a couple of great catches. He had that nice screen pass, catching and then coming back over the middle for a touchdown to put you up 14-7. And we mentioned on that goal line stand possession, he had a big play to get you down inside the 10-yard line. He really came through. He
did. He's a kid that we always need to go to, for a big play. And the screen did a good job of catching it, getting upfield to find his blockers, and hitting the seam and getting vertical and scoring. He gets in the open field, he's going to be hard to catch. And then, his last play, if we would have hit him in stride, he scores pretty easy. And now we're going to have to go for it on 4th down. So, he's a great playmaker. He's a great kid, and he needs to be in the game as much as possible.
All right, 3-2 now coming home, and it's amazing you're 3-2, and I think when the schedule came out, you take it at this point of the year, but when you look at what could have been, you could obviously be looking for a lot more, but obviously a big game Saturday night. Missouri Western also 3-2, coming off a home loss to Pittsburgh State Saturday. Key game for both teams.
It is. It's a huge one. We're both sitting here 3-2, both coming off a loss, both want to get on the winning side again, and they're a good football team. Defensively, they're one of the top defenses in our conference right now. I think Pitt's number 1 and they're number 2, or they're in there somewhere. And they fly to the ball, and they're very, very physical, and they're very, very aggressive. Offensively, they do some good things. They got a young quarterback who I think is maturing each week and getting better each week. So that makes it a little bit more, a little scarier, when you try to prepare for those guys. Got a great running back and got great linemen and receivers. So, it's going to be a battle. I hope we come and perform at the level that we should perform at, and what I expect out of this team. And hopefully it's a great game. We can come away with a win.
I was going to ask you about their quarterback. Some struggles early, and they struggled to score points. But as you mentioned, he's a redshirt freshman. Seems to be gaining confidence every time out. And even though they lose, he did some good things against Pitt State.
Well, he did some great things. He throws the ball very well. He's a pretty mobile quarterback too. And the kid's going to be. He's an impressive kid. He's going to be a great quarterback here in the future. So. We got to prepare for him, try to keep him in the pocket, and try to keep him off balance if we can, and just get after him a little bit.
I'll ask you about their running game. They kind of have another two-headed monster. Raphael Spencer, very good, and then Dominic Thomas, a senior. Both of those guys together make it pretty challenging.
They are. They're tough. They're downhill. They got speed to get to the edge, and they're physical runners. They're just not little scat backs either. So. They're going to make it tough for us, and just their overall offense, is going to be tough to defend, because they got great play action off of it. They run the ball well, they throw the ball well, so defensively you got to defend both of them.
You mentioned their defense being very good, and traditionally they've had as good of a front four as anybody in the MIAA. Are they pretty good again?
Hasn't changed. Hasn't changed. Their front four is very, very good. They changed defenses a little bit. They used to be a 4-3. Now they're more of a 3-4. In the past, so, they got 3 down linemen, but they got 2 bandits that are big kids, or walk-up safeties, and their linebackers are big, strong, fast kids as well, and their secondary flies with the ball. So, it's going to be a challenge. We got to find a way to attack them and get some points on the board. And defensively, we got to find a way to keep points off.
All right. Well, hopefully your team can kind of find its mojo once again. Should be a good crowd. It's always fun for homecoming, but it'd be nice to cap off all the festivities with a victory Saturday night.
That's what we need. Not worry about everything else, and just worry about what we got to do on Saturday. And enjoy homecoming. But the main thing is you got to go win this ball game.
All right, Chris. We appreciate it. Thanks for the time, and we will see you at the stadium Saturday night.
Thanks, Gerard.
That's Chris Brown, head coach of the Fort Hays State Tigers. Again, they host Missouri Western Saturday night, 7 o'clock kick, and you can hear the game on Tiger Radio Mix 103, 6 o'clock with the Auto World pregame show. And hey, if you missed any of the program, you can always catch the video replay of Tiger Talk, Eagle Cable Channel 14. It's rebroadcast on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10:30 in the morning and 7 o'clock in the evening. So always check that out if you can on Eagle Cable Channel 14. That's going to wrap up the program for today. Certainly hope you enjoyed it. It's all made possible by the fine sponsors of Tiger Talk, which includes the Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, Taco Shop, G&L Tire and Automotive, Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, Adams, Brown, Barron and Ball, Couture for Men and Women, James Motor Company, BTI, and of course, Whiskey Creek Wood Fire Grill at 3203 Vine, where the fire's always burning. For the head coach, Chris Brown, this is Gerard Welbrock. Have a good evening, everyone.
It's the Fort Hays State University Coaches Show on Eagle Community Television, brought to you by Eagle Communications.